Throughout a pretty crazy postseason, a turbulent beginning to the offseason, a stacked draft class, and a non-stop summer league, it feels like people have basically forgotten about Cade Cunningham. And I don't know why. While he did lose basically his entire sophomore season to a shin injury, I think in the games he did play, he showed us even more reasons to be excited about his future, and it seems like everyone has just moved on. It was only 2 years ago he was basically the consensus #1 pick, and for a really good reason. Although the sample size was small, Cade already looked like a much better player than he did in his impressive rookie campaign. And with Detroit's new young core, I see no reason why Pistons fans shouldn't be excited for their future superstar to come back. Cade's game is far beyond his years. As cliche as that statement is, it's rarely been truer for any other player. In general, Cade just has a really smooth game. It rarely seems like the defense phases him, rather adjusting on the fly to find such a good shot that you would think it was what he was going for from the start. I routinely go back to his matchups with DeJounte Murray and Drew Holiday, and how well Cade responded to everything they threw at him. I wouldn't expect this level of control from a sophomore. Heck, I'm still impressed when I see a star-level guard like Curry, Kyrie, or Luka flash this level of composure. So you can imagine just how impressed I am with how often Cade remains this composed. Cade's sense of rhythm and overall game sense are a beauty to watch. He routinely is sliding by defenders into whatever pocket of space he could find. He's a master at turning the dead ball opportunities into buckets, and unlike Jalen Brunson or a few other elite guards in the league, Cade doesn't prefer to slow down too much. Instead, it's almost a battle of endurance when guarding him. He's constantly moving and looking for a new angle or spot, and rarely does he give defenders a break. Look how little downtime there is in this play versus the Bucks. Every time they cut off a drive or try and stop him, Cade just immediately barrels towards whatever other open space he can find. This constant aggression and foot on the gas pedal mentality can make him a tiresome nightmare for defenders. Cunningham is certainly capable of speeding up though, motoring on command to blow right by his defenders when he sees an opening. Like I said, Cade has composure way ahead of his years, and he isn't slowed down or sped up by anybody. Keep in mind, while defenders will require the endurance to stay with Cade, they also need to stay in front of him. Cade's dribbling is like a freestyle rap, seemingly finding out where he's going and what he's going to do next on the fly. He isn't afraid to try some new combos with his dribbling, first going through the legs back into a crossover, which immediately leads into another crossover, and finally spinning into an open fadeaway. Or here, it's as simple as a quick through the legs into a wide crossover, then it's a tough bucket at the rim. I also really like this play here against the Hawks. Cade starts with a hezzy into a through the legs, another quick hezzy, then a behind the back, and finally a cross right into Collins' chest, and he puts it right over him. If you've seen some of my other breakdowns, you know how much I love to talk about players who can motor on and motor off on command, and Cade is no exception. But he doesn't motor on and off in the same way Brunson, Beal, and Mathurin do. He instead motors off to pull up for a lot of quick jumpers before the defense can even get there. First here, he splits the defense and stays low before exploding up for a quick midi, or here, he spins and stays low and quick again like he's driving to the basket, and as great of a defender as Draymond Green is, he's still a second late to contest Cade's shot. Cade is routinely finding these shots of rhythm, and that makes it incredibly difficult for the defense to guard him. One of Cade's consistently strongest areas has been the long mid-range, and this skill of his helps him get to those shots a lot easier. His ability to create space combined with his court awareness means he's rarely not able to find a mid-range shot he likes. Cade takes almost half of his shots in the mid-range area, and roughly 21% of his shots in the long mid-range area, where he also shoots 46%, ranking in the 80th percentile for long mid-ranges. His mid-range pull-up is a work of art, and he is a natural at finding and getting to his mid-range spots. For how smooth a game he has, Cade rarely shies away from contact. I'd even go as far to call Cade a bruiser, pushing through the contact and creating it often. Cade still has to develop a bit more speed to get by on most of his moves, but for now, he'll just use his size to barrel through defenders on his way to the basket. Much like Mathurin, Cade also still has some efficiency issues to work out, but I believe those issues will resolve themselves with time and experience. And as is, his pure unadulterated aggression is impressive enough to me.
Cade ranks in the 98th percentile for drives per 75 possessions, 95th percentile in unassisted rim field goal attempts, and 95th percentile for total shots at the rim per 75. When Cade isn't looking for the mid-range, he's frequently hunting the most efficient shots in basketball. Look here, Cade doesn't get the step he wanted, but just puts his head down into Murray, then he's at the basket for an easy float off the high glass. Or here, he's just too strong for Hunter, and he uses motor off combined with his strength to create space for an easy lay. This pure strength and control has been something Cade flashed since his rookie year, and has seemingly only built on. Cade certainly benefits from his natural size too. Sitting at 6'6", Cade is able to bully most guards smaller than him for easy buckets. In this play, Cade is just too big. It pushes through Curry twice before help comes and he dumps it off for an easy three-pointer. Then later,
He pushes through Jerome and then confidently absorbs the contact from Wiseman, and it's good. He isn't afraid of a little back to the basket action either, sealing Griffin behind him twice here before absorbing contact and finding the easy midi. This relentlessness and lack of fear is going to continue to help Cade out throughout his entire career, and with time, he'll just become even more of a matchup nightmare for defenses. Throughout all of this, I haven't even mentioned arguably Cade's biggest strength yet, his incredible court vision and passing. Last season, Cade ranked in the 100th percentile for assist percentage, 92nd percentile for assist to usage ratio, and 95th percentile for potential assists per 100 passes. That composure and ball control I raved about so much earlier definitely shines through in his passing as well. Here, after being doubled, he remains unfazed and patient, waiting to whip right across the court, and that's an easy three from Bogdanovic. Or even if we take a look at that play against the Warriors from earlier, despite the contact and near triple team, Cade still finds the perfect pocket for another easy Bogdanovic three in the corner. He's also a bit of a menace in the fast break. With his head-first attitude and crafty finishing game, defenders have to respect him, and Cade loves leveraging that into easy looks for his teammates. Look at how much fun he's having here on the break, whipping it behind his back before holding it just long enough for the defenders to commit and tossing it to Bay for the easy layup. Or here, look at how beautifully he threads the needle right into Bogdanovic's hands, and it's an easy dunk. Cade is pretty good at these lead fast break passes, compensating for his somewhat slower speed with speeding bullets right to where his teammate needs them. A simpler but still impressive play is here where he takes it full court, pauses the misdirects with his eyes before throwing it right where only Stewart could reach it. It doesn't really matter the situation he's put in, Cade consistently finds and creates opportunities for his teammates. In an almost Magic Johnson or white chocolate fashion, it's hard to turn on a Pistons game and not see Cade pull off some passing wizardry. I particularly love this play here against the Hawks. The second Cade sees Collins take a step, he bullets it across the paint for an easy Bay three-pointer. Another favorite of mine is here against the Thunder. Cade is swarmed and deep in the paint, but still is able to find an angle on the baseline to laser yet another one to Bogdanovic for once again an easy corner three. The last part of Cade's game I want to touch on is his defense. I'd be pretty confident calling Cade a good defender now, and he has all the tools to be a great one someday. He naturally has the size advantage I mentioned earlier to help him obstruct most shots, and even get up to block some of them. That same footwork he uses to break down his defenders comes in handy when it comes to staying in front of his man, and he's consistently pretty good at that. He also has a lot of small intangibles that, when all combined together, makes him a pretty reliable stopper on that end. He knows right when to swipe for the ball for easy steals. His size makes almost all of his contests a tough one, and he has the footwork and size to switch when needed. Looking at a few stats from Basketball Index too can help put into words some things I can't. He ranks in the 86th percentile overall first perimeter defense value, 81st percentile for ball screen navigation, and 87th percentile for rim point save per 75. Cade's game is incredibly well-rounded. Rarely do we see a player this young be competent in all areas of the court. His awareness and composure is incredibly advanced and impressive, and how good he is at both of those now makes me incredibly excited to see just how much better he can get. Only some of the best stars of the NBA have entered the league with this developed of game knowledge, and I don't think you'd be insane to say Cade is like the most developed in this area right out of the gate. His offensive creation, both for himself and for others, is one of the best for his age. He's already shown a large variety of ways he can put the ball in the basket and get to his shots, and his defense is for some reason the most consistently overlooked part of his game. Despite all the natural tools and game sense he possesses, people rarely bring up just how good and versatile a defender he already is. I think what's most impressive to me about everything Cade Cunningham showed is how raw he still is. We still haven't even got a full season's worth of basketball from him yet. Sure, he still has a lot of areas to grow, he can be more efficient, and he can definitely be a better three-point shooter, but like I mentioned earlier, I have no doubt those will come with time. Those are very fixable issues and just a part of the natural learning curve most stars take. Cade already possesses all the natural tools of a superstar as a 21-year-old, and I, for one, have no doubts that he's only going to go up from here. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I said down below. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.